They said if Fields go to Atlanta,
something.
and they said if Fields go to Atlanta, Tomlin go on his way, bro. I'm sick. If Tomlin on his way to ATL, I might move. Move. You might scoot over. You better scoot over, Kite. If Tomlin go to Atlanta.
See, and shit like that is like that's why the Lions such a snake bitten franchise, because shit that don't got nothing to do with you. If Justin Fields, think about this world.
We
right?
live, by the way, Gibbs. We live, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I'll just let you know.
Thank you for letting me know. But and you know what? I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna throw the would you rather out there. If there's a world where the Jets don't jet and they draft Justin Fields, what happens as a result of them drafting Justin Fields? Aaron Rodgers probably stays with the Packers and languishes there a couple more years, and everybody thinks Jordan Love is a rising star. Meanwhile, Aaron Rodgers is on Pat McAfee's show pushing anti-vax narratives and calling and telling people that he demands to hear their vaccination status before they criticize him. If the Jets draft Justin Fields, not only does Justin Fields stay out of the NFC, he goes to a Jets team that is set up to do the thing. Like, everybody keeps talking about, oh, the Jets just need a quarterback, and they just think about how much that would have helped out the Lions. You made the Packers worse by doing that. They might get rid of Jordan Love because he's not trying to sit 3-4 years behind. So much would have been better if just that one domino would have fell a different way. But lo and behold, now we're looking at Tomlin, Kyle Pitts, Drake London,
Bijan,
and Justin Fields, all in the NFC. Being a Lions fan is fun. Being a Lions fan is so fun. But fellas, y'all know how we got to get this thing going, man. Y'all know how we got to get this thing going. So I'm going to pitch two scenarios to you.
Okay.
And these are going to be two would you rathers that I think y'all are going to enjoy a little bit. You have permanent immortality, but the snail is chasing you. I'm sure y'all have heard of the snail thing. Super intelligent snail is chasing you. You have permanent immortality for as long as immortality. I don't know why I say immortality. Permanent immortality for as long as the snail
got
doesn't touch
that.
you. That man so locked in on them parlays, he didn't hear you. You got permanent immortality, again, as long as the snail don't touch you, and you get $1 million to go with it. Or you get a superpower of your choosing, but you have to use it on some living being on a regular basis, or it'll randomly expel itself in moments where you cannot help. Oh, and by the way, in this situation, the snail can transform into a human for 1 hour at a time, but you know what the human looks like.
I'm gonna go with the superpower. I'm gonna go with the superpower just because it's a number of superpowers that I could pick where I don't necessarily have to use it on humans. It's
you
a number
use it on a living thing. You don't got to use it on humans. But
okay, I would go with the superpower easy. Currently, I probably roll with some super speed. I don't know.
Oh, by the way, you don't get to pick the superpower. It's just a randomizer.
Oh, it's random.
Yeah, you don't know what superpower you got.
I'm gonna still roll with the superpower.
Okay.
I'm gonna still roll with the superpower. Whatever it is, I'll roll with the punches. Just because this has nothing to do with the snail chase you. This has nothing to do with you having to run and be on. I just wouldn't want to be immortal. That just don't sound like a life that I want to live.
But you're not immortal. Anytime you want, there is an out. There is an out whenever you want it.
True. That is
Chris.
true. But at the same, I don't want to be living on edge either. Like I might hit a point in my immortality where I finally figure it out and I'm good. And lo and behold, that's when Snail Man come get you.
That's fair. That's fair. Chris, which one you going with?
I ain't gonna hold y'all. The superpower. What superhero doesn't use their superpower every day?
Well, yeah, that's fair. But again, you don't know what it is.
I mean, even if I don't know what it is, it's a superpower, which means I can do it and no one else can do it.
It's no whack superpowers on the table, is it?
Like, what's a whack superpower?
There are some
like Sky High. Okay, let's look at the whack superpowers of Sky High, right? Girly can turn into a gerbil and Broke a glow. But they end up being some of the best superpowers at the end of the movie. Like, it's a use for every superpower. It's a superpower.
I mean, I'm not saying, but imagine if you had to use super strength on a living thing every day. Like, you have to exert super strength force on something every day.
Okay,
And
I go
mind
pick
you,
up a
you don't
tree
know.
every day. Go pick up a tree every day. That's a living thing.
That's very smart.
Pick up a
I'm
tree every day.
about to say I don't bang with squirrels.
He gonna be killing squirrels.
I hate squirrels, bro.
What if your,
I do
what
too,
if your
low-key.
power? What if your power was necromancy, and like you had to technically you had to kill something and then like control it after its death every day? You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Like, hey, that's just a thought, just a thought. But honestly,
I mean, there's some dark. What you got to get off your chest? There's some dark superpower you just pulled out of thin air, man. What's going on at home, Gibbs? Tell the people what's going on.
we all don't know necromancy as a power. Like we've all seen.
Yeah,
it.
I know,
We've all
but you
seen
just
it.
went straight to. You went straight to that. It wasn't no gradual build up. It just was straight to
I'm
that.
just saying, on the boys, one of their powers is like moving around blood at people. Like actually, two of their powers is that. So like,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you know, you could get that, and you got to move around blood and something every day. Like, and Lord knows if you forget to do it, and all of a sudden you're like, oh wow, I just hurt somebody very badly because I forgot to use my power today. I'm just saying.
You might be able to help some people though. You can move the blood
Yeah,
around.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, you could. You could. You,
Man,
you don't
go
have
to
to
the
use it for
hospital.
that. You don't have to.
Just go to the hospital and be like, I'm about to heal somebody every day.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna take the immortality because, like, honestly, I think about it a lot. Like, if I could choose the precise moment where I'm like, all right, I've had enough. Like, I definitely want to do that.
At the same time, you couldn't establish roots nowhere because if this person knows where you are, you couldn't live anywhere long term. You can't do anything in your life long term. You wouldn't have
and
any
it-
stability
and
forever.
It's just the snail chasing you. Again, the snail could turn into a human for an hour at a time, max. Like that's it. They can
Okay,
okay,
but-
with you, man.
So
The snail
let's
could go to
say
the airport in an hour and get on the flight and then be right where you at.
If the snail turned into a human, it then turns back into a snail. The snail can come to fly to where I'm at, but then it has to transport itself as a snail to me. Even if the snail was like super, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna wait until I'm in my human zone and then catch an Uber to him. Sure, but I know that you're there. I know where the snail is, like the snail knows where I am. Like,
Okay.
so you have like you have like a sixth sense on where the snail is.
no, but you know the snail. Like when the snail is in human form, you can identify it and go, oh, that's a snail. Like you know.
Okay,
Okay,
so a snail moves so slow. A snail can travel 0.7 miles a day.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. That's
So,
not like, bro.
but at the same time, think about it though. How long have you been staying at your current residence, Gibbs?
I've been here for a few years.
Okay, so let's say it's 3 years.
Right?
That's 365 times 3 times 0.7.
I mean, listen. I'm at the end of the day. I'm all right with that.
It would take the snail a little over 2 years to get to you. You've been there that long. The snail could have. If the snail was 766 miles away, it would have gotten to you by now. Since you moved into that residence.
And I'm fine with that.
But Gibbs, you started off by saying you would take the immortality, right? Because you could pick and choose when you had enough. Immortality is the opposite, though. You can't. You always gonna be alive. You can't say, "All right, I had enough." You gotta just keep on living.
The snail is chasing me. I can just go to the snail and die. Like, all right, I've had
But
enough.
let's say the snail made it to you today. You go to sleep tonight. The snail could finesse his way into your crib, bro.
If I had $1 million, my family just got $1 million richer because I passed on. Y'all know me more than pretty much anybody else in this world. If I could leave my family $1 million and trade my life for it today, I played football for 17 years. I literally took that bet. That was a bet that I took. Like, what do you mean?
Hey, you got it, man.
I'm just saying. That's my personal opinion there. But we got to get into some other folks who got sacrificed after this here wild card weekend because the NFC least is back in town, boys. The NFC least is back. The Giants are back trash. The Commanders, don't matter if Magic Johnson own it, if Dan Snyder own it, don't matter if Zack Snyder own it with the Snyder Cut. It's still some trash. And of course, we got to review all of the Super Wild Card games, and you know, Josh Allen looking rather quarterbacky despite running for 50 yards and touchdowns and whatnot. We got to get into all that and the question of is Cade really that good if he allowed a 28-game losing streak? Fellas, y'all ready to get into it?
I'm ready for it.
Yes, sir.
All righty, well, let's do it. What's up, y'all? It's your favorite hour. I'm sorry. What's up, y'all? Have a seat. It's your favorite hour of the week with the Facts Over Axe crew. We got the master of the mix and master, Josh Guyton in the building.
That is I.
We got the money man, the man with the plan, Chris Allen in the building.
Right here, right here.
And then you got the little old MC. That's me, Kenton Gibbs. Now, folks, y'all see my CTE was acting up already, and I didn't get the million. So, you know, that's just a small thought there about why I would pick what I would pick. But fellas, speaking of picking what we pick, Josh, can you tell us our records in terms of the Super Wild Card picks, please?
You ain't gotta do that, bro. You ain't gotta do that, bro.
No, we need to hear. We need to hear.
Chris was 1-5
we had
for
the
the
Gibbs was
week.
wrong segment, so we got to say that. You said Chris was what now?
He was 1-5.
Interesting.
His only pick. Let me double check that. I forgot who Chris picked. That was correct. Chris's only correct pick for the week was
Y'all ain't done talking about me yet.
the Bills. He did have the Bills correctly. Unfortunately, I didn't do much better. I went 2-4. I correctly predicted the Lions and the Chiefs to win. Gibbs, if not for the Philadelphia Eagles, would have went undefeated, but Gibbs was 5-1, our football expert on the panel.
Let me tell you something. Give-A-Mania just ran wild all over you, brother. Let me tell you something.
I'm still waiting on the Pistons play-in pick, though. So
Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself, all right? Worry about yourself. Can't be right all the time. Can't be. Hey, who would have thought? Who would have? You know what? We gonna get into the Pistons later. But first thing first, we got to talk about the collapse in Dallas. We got to talk about it because it makes me happy. It makes me smile. It makes my heart warm. Y'all remember when y'all were kids and y'all got that first like you were? Did y'all grow up on hot chocolate with water or milk? Which one did y'all grow up on?
So I was kind of reverse. I started on hot chocolate with milk, but you know what I'm saying? Once that recession hit, we had to downgrade to the water.
Okay, Chris, I'm guessing milk. I'm guessing you grew up on hot
no,
chocolate.
I've
milk.
always been a water guy. I never really drank milk like that.
All right. Well, seeing the Cowboys get whooped on like that was like converting from water to milk for the first time in your hot chocolate. Like it just hits so different. It just warmed you up. It's just, oh yeah, I love it. I love it. And the worst,
I saw this. I tried to send it to y'all, but I think they took it down. Did I see y'all that TikTok earlier when Dak Prescott was like, "I don't want the NFC Champions hat. I want a bigger hat."
oh yeah, yep.
He had a sombrero on the cake.
Oh, hey, listen, he finna be in Mexico with North in a minute. He finna be right there in Cancun. Right? Hate that for him. But fellas, after watching that game, what were y'all thoughts on that absolute beatdown? Because I'm gonna tell you, it was two teams that I didn't like. I was rooting for the Asteroid the entire game, but I said if somebody gotta win, at least let it be a blowout so heads roll on the other team. And you know, of course, the Cowboys gonna cowboy this thing up. So what were y'all thoughts on this game?
Honestly, my thoughts, I wasn't surprised. It's the Cowboys. We watch the Cowboys sell every year. I think my biggest takeaway from that game was, even though he didn't have the best performance, Dak Prescott didn't have a terrible performance. This show is called Facts Over Acts for a reason. If you look at the box score, you think that he played decent, but if you watch the actual game, that's not the case. He got a lot of those stats in garbage time.
Empty calories. Yeah,
But
very empty calories.
I'm looking at Dak Prescott be the scapegoat for a team that played terrible for all 22 men that were on the field and the coaching staff. He's being a scapegoat for a defense that couldn't cover a toddler. We're looking at a defense that didn't get any penetration on Jordan Love, and the times that they were able to with the blitz, he was carving them up like they didn't exist. We're looking at receivers. Gallup dropped 3-4 passes, if I recall correctly. I think I saw CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb got 11 targets that game and caught 2 passes.
Yeah. They say he only a lamb in the regular season. He turned into a Honda Accord in the playoffs.
So I'm looking at that, and then also on the other side, I know we talked about it a little bit in pre-show, but I'm a little bit fearful of Jordan Love. His throwing mechanics could use a little bit of work. You know, he underthrew some people, but at the same time, it's the poise and the pocket presence in the playoffs on the road that you can't get that out of every quarterback. It's a lot of quarterbacks that got good mechanics, they got a good arm, but when that pressure comes, when the light, sometimes the lights are just too bright, and we've seen it plenty of times. And I don't think that's the case with Jordan Love. You can fix those mistakes that he made against the Cowboys. He's still very young in his career. This is only his first full season starting, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, so you got time to fix those problems.
All right, Chris. What was your takeaway from this thing?
How about them Cowboys?
How about it? How about it?
I love it here. I love when the Cowboys get stabbed like a deer. They make me want to just shout. They make me want to shout. Hey, shout. Hey.
I ain't mad at you, bro. I ain't mad at you.
Listen. Seeing the downfall of the Dallas Cowboys to a first-time playoff quarterback was like the highlight of my week. I got off the plane because I went on a ski trip in Vermont with the gang. I got off the plane, landed at the airport around 3:30, right on time, waiting on my bag and my skis to come through the drop, right? And I'm watching the game on my phone. Game just kicks off. Never in a million years did I expect to be laughing through the airport carrying ski bags. Like, I never thought, like, Jordan Love looked like, okay, let's break this game down. Right, I'm going to start from the bottom and go up. Aaron Jones had 2 touchdowns in the entire season for the Packers.
Yep.
Anybody in the stand want to guess how many touchdowns he had in the first half?
Trey Ball.
3.5 more than his season. Anybody else in the stands want to tell me how much we got to hear about this Dallas D-line? How much we got to hear about how Michael Parsons and Lawrence are just that deal? The Dallas D-line, they get to the quarterback, they force the most penalties. How many times we got to hear that this season?
No.
Oh, see.
Yeah, go ahead. No. Go ahead, cook. You cooking right now. Let you
all
cook.
season long, Michael Parsons on his podcast talking about how we want the 49ers again. The Eagles don't stand a chance. We want this. Well, now y'all all going to Cancun, okay? Now, let me get to the old guy, because I got to get to the old guy. Go on,
get to him.
How are you the owner of the team, the only team that loses, and you call that press conference? A press conference. Where's your head really at when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys?
And I'll tell you, he like the anti-Mitch McConnell. Them lights ain't never too bright. They bring around every camera in the world. He's still rolling. We have some decisions to make. We have to take some things into consideration.
And Dak freaking Prescott, you know, I think his Super Bowl was won when they made the playoffs for whatever reason. It just looked like that man was like, I think my job here is done, and you know, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. And it's like Dak, where's that? Jordan Love played with that. Okay, and it was a couple plays there. Guy, I'm not gonna hold you. It was a couple plays there where I had to make sure Jordan Love had his number on his back, because I thought I saw 12 a couple times. I was like, oh, no, bro. I was getting flashbacks. Because brother was dodging sacks, throwing out of sacks. It was some receivers so wide open on the Packers that they came back to the ball and scored a touchdown.
Yep.
Like, it wasn't nobody within 10, 15 yards of them.
Which real quick, just because like I've never played football, I have a decent amount of football knowledge, but out of the 3 sports that we cover for the most part, I have the least knowledge about football. Gibbs, from a defensive perspective, like I play Madden. You know what I'm saying? You miss some coverages on Madden and people be open, but like the amount of openness that these Packers players had, how does that happen on defense with professional players?
All right, so on my other podcast, I do this thing called called the Locked On Look of the Week, where I like break down what happened. Long story short, it was a bad 2-3 exchange. So what does that mean? You count players from the outside in, right? So like the outside receiver is number 1, the slot receiver or tight end is number 2, the second tight end or the back is number 3. Now I'm not going to draw up the whole thing, but long story short, I'm just going to show y'all how what happened with the Packers and the Cowboys happened here, because I mean very, very embarrassing time for the Cowboys, and they should be ashamed of themselves, honestly and truly. They should be very ashamed of themselves. All right. So I'm drawing up a play. Give me just a second. All right. So long story short, the concept looked something like this, right? Okay. What you saw here is 2 and 3 are they're exchanging positions in terms of who's outside, rather. So what you get here is 3 is coming all the way across the formation, as 2 goes, he acts like he's going across and breaks back. So what you had happen with the Cowboys, they were in man coverage, and the safety that was supposed to be responsible for handling that 2-3 exchange got lost. And both of them took the guy who went up and to the other side of the field. They were playing cover 1, so there was only one high safety. Right. And this guy wide open over here. Nothing but free space, and they're over there. That's literally what happened bit for bit. Now, let me tell you this. I picked the Packers to win this game. And why did I pick the Packers to win? I hate the Packers. I hate them. I hate everything about them. Y'all know me. Y'all know that I rooted for the asteroid all game long, because I wasn't going to root for the Cowboys. And I wasn't going to root for the Packers. But what did I know about this team? I said, I got to get my emotions out of this, because y'all not having another Gibbs is wrong segment about me. That ain't happening. And when I watched the film, I realized that Dallas had a problem. For as good as Micah Parsons is at rushing the passer, he's only about 240.
Right.
DeMarcus Lawrence, they use him as a 3 technique. He's only about 270. A 3 technique is a defensive tackle. His ass ain't big enough to be in there. Micah Parsons ain't big enough to set edges. He's not big enough.
Well, why has it been working majority of the season?
So here's what the Cowboys do well. And here's how they win their games, which are mostly against bad teams. What they do is they get a lead on you. And when they get a lead on you, you then have to throw the ball. Now, why would DeMarcus Lawrence be on the inside? Or what is the advantage that gives you? You got him matched up one-on-one against a guard. He's going to whoop the wheels off that guard. That guard doesn't have a shot. What does Micah Parsons do well? He has a lot of core strength and bend around the edge. He's extremely fast. But when you ask him, sit your ass down and get me a stop against the run, it's real difficult. How do you think Josh Dobbs and the Cardinals beat him? Hollywood Brown couldn't catch a cold standing butt naked in Alaska in the middle of the wintertime. How do you think that happened? Zach Ertz is the definition of moving old. That man was out there at tight end. I said, who the hell? Who got that left tackle out there trying to run routes? Is that Dan Skipper? Did he report? Get him. And it was Zach Ertz. They won that game because they got physical with the Cowboys. They punched them in the mouth. And Dan Quinn is the type of defensive coordinator. We do what we do, and we're not changing. And so when you get punched in the mouth by a team like that, there's nothing you can do. And again, I don't think their defense was built poorly. They were just built to stop one thing. The only problem with that is when a team comes with the counter to that one thing, you stuck. Everybody needs to go. Everybody needs to go. I mean everybody. McCarthy need to go. Quinn need to go. Well, Quinn could stay. I'll tell you this, but Quinn could stay. But you know who really needs to go, but he ain't going to go because he owns the team?
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones. Dakota Rain, because I ain't calling you Dak. I ain't calling you Dak after a performance like that. Dakota Rain, you need to go. You need to leave, brother. That was embarrassing. To see Dak at this point in time in his career still throwing the ball to defenders in big moments, to see him still not have the ability to say, The Cowboys always wear white. That's the part that confused me, Dak. How do you get mixed up on what color your guys are wearing? Y'all wear white at home and on the road. And yet and still, you give the ball to the green guys. I'll tell you what an embarrassment. And CD, they say him and CD on the outs and it's all these problems. I'll tell you what, it'd be problems with me too, damn it. I have problems with my quarterback too. If I'm out here getting doubled and you can't find nobody, yeah, all right. That's just an embarrassing showing. But this episode is called NFC Lease Pack is back. Because the defending NFC champs.
The defending NFC champs.
The defending NFC champs. Not NFCs, the defending NFC champs. The championship runs through Philly. Not so fast, says old Baker Mayfield.
Baker and the boys.
A quarterback that tapes his fingers. You just got beat by a quarterback that tapes his fingers, brother. That just happened in real life. Tell me y'all thoughts about this game, fellas.
So I didn't see. I know it's my responsibility as one leg of this show to watch these games. Had a long day at work. The game was on, but at the same time, I tuned in, watched the first quarter, let a little bit of time pass, and the game was out of reach. The Eagles weren't winning. So I'm not even exactly sure how it got to that point. However, what I am sure of is I don't know what happened to the Eagles. This was a team that was on fire last year. They was on fire to start this season. They made the Super Bowl and they lost. But at the same time, that's the first time that core essentially made the Super Bowl. You know, Jason Kelce was there when they won in 2017.
Yeah, that was the Nick Foles year, I believe.
Yeah, so you know, it's some players there with experience, but at the same time, all of us have played sports. When you get to that big stage for the first time, usually it take a couple, or in football, at least one time to kind of knock the dust off before you're ready for that stage again, which a lot of people expect them to go back. I think, did all three of us at the start of the year pick them to go back to the Super Bowl? I know that I did for sure.
Might have.
I know I might have. Yeah.
But the body language, the way that the team, you can tell a lot from a team by their body language. You can tell when a team is done. You can tell when a team doesn't really have that chemistry in them just based on the body language. The way that, you know, after a play where they didn't get the yards they expected, after they didn't get a stop on defense, and it's not, you know, let's go out there, fellas, we'll get them next time. Everybody got their head hanging. Jason Kelce, who was supposed to be the glue of that offense, he on the sideline with his head hanging. I don't think I ever seen that dude without a smile on his face.
Facts.
I'm not sure how the Eagles got to that point, but they've hit the point as far as team chemistry goes to where I don't think they can recover.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Chris, what you thinking, man? What you thinking? What you looking at with this team?
I'll give my hat off to the Bucks. The Eagles couldn't tackle a grandma. They couldn't tackle what's the Lady Jean for the
grandma, Sister Jean.
They couldn't tackle her if they wanted. Yeah, they couldn't tackle her if they wanted to.
Let me find out that's why you took a job in Chicago, Chris. Not you out here looking for a Sister Jean.
Chill out,
sick Chris. You a sick man.
Chill out. No, man, I just don't understand why they couldn't tackle nobody. Like, literally, the defenders, receivers are catching the ball, getting 25 yards after catch. Like, Baker really didn't have to do much but get the ball in their hands. Like, it was pretty underwhelming the way the Bucks won. Like, I wanted the Eagles to put up a fight. It was just like, Baker said, go downstairs and stay downstairs. Like, it was a little bro, big bro game. But anyway, I digress. But, you know, my question is, where did the Eagles go wrong? Right? They were 10-1 and then start having chemistry problems.
Well, they had the worst thing possible happen. They won with bad process. When you win with bad process, you develop bad habits that continue to get worse and worse and worse. And they don't get addressed because you're winning. And then down the stretch, when they needed to adjust, it was too late. It was too late to tell their offensive coordinator, stop running quarterback draws on every second and medium situation. Stop. Everybody knows it's coming. Everybody and their mama know if the Eagles are in second and medium, a quarterback draw is 1,000% on the way. It was too late.
Yeah, but Gibbs, they had one of the most unstoppable moves in football all season, and even that fell apart the second half of the season.
Yeah, but that move is very niche. It's like if you unlock a special ability for a character on the game where it's like, oh, he has a specific throw when you catch the other person in the air. Like if y'all are both in that one situation, they're great. Other than that, y'all both on the ground, you're cooked. Just they in the air, you cook. Just you in the air, still cook.
The tush push is that one piece of it's like that one tool that you keep around the crib, or like you putting something together and it's like an extra part, and you like, I'm gonna keep this. I might need it one day.
Yeah. It wasn't necessary. They couldn't get there. I'm gonna tell you this: the Eagles, I'm gonna quote SZA because y'all know I love me some SZA, and then Drew Barrymore, she said, why is it so hard to see when the party, or why is it so hard to accept when the party is over? The Eagles' party is over. Kelsey gone. Lane Johnson is slowing down, and the NFL is talking about they're going to start cracking down on offensive linemen leaving early, which Lane Johnson was the king of and never got called for. Their running back room, very meh. Nobody would believe Detroit fans when we said DeAndre Swift is mid. Nobody believed us. They called us haters. They said we terrible people and we just hope we wishing bad on DeAndre.
I mean, I don't know who the running back scout is in Detroit, but they got rid of DeAndre Swift and
Jamal Williams.
Yeah, Jamal Williams just in time.
And honestly, the Saints are going to pay for what they did to Jamal Williams. They made that man a fullback.
I ain't gonna lie, but Swift has some spurts this season though. Like he did.
But the thing about Swift is he needs to be behind the dominant offensive line. He needs to be. You can't put him behind the average offensive line and say, "Hey, go cook," and he'll be all right. Yeah, that just ain't the case. Yep. But I look at this team and I say the party's over. Y'all shouldn't have dropped off this bad after losing your offensive and defensive coordinator. This is an entirely different team. Like this team doesn't even. They just down the stretch. I mean, they were 1 of 6 in their last 7 games, including this one. And this game wasn't even competitive. Baker Mayfield and company spanked that baby, put him to sleep. The NFC lease is back, ladies and gentlemen. They back. Congratulations.
The boys are back in time. Though. That pack been gas.
And you know what? I'm willing to bet you this much. They're gonna have a new champion next year. I'm willing to bet you that much. The Cowboys not gonna repeat. I'm willing to bet whatever the Cowboys don't repeat next year.
Who is it?
I don't know, but I know it's going to be somebody else. Because every time you get faith in the NFC East team to follow it up and, I had to double it. Nope. Wrong. Wrong. You're going to miss. Wrong. Like every pundit in America when talking about the Rams and Lions game. Ooh-wee. They thought that Stafford was going to sneak up through the side door and hit us with the smooth criminal lean like Michael Jackson. And lo and behold, Motor City Dan Campbell, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra, the sun god, pull out a tight one, 24-23. By the way, Aiden Hutchinson with 2 sacks on the game. I'm just saying, 2 of them things in this game. You know what I mean? I'm not saying we sacrifice one Hutch to give the new Hutch powers, R.I.P. Hutch. But
oh my
God! What I will say is this: Aiden Hutchinson played like a man possessed out there. I mean, that boy was everywhere. On top of the 2 sacks, he drew multiple penalties as well. What a time, fellas! Give me your thoughts. I'm gonna start with you, Chris, because you a Lions hater. I need to hear you tell us about your Rams pick.
Listen. When I love the Lions, that was the year they went 0-16. So forgive me for not being a young kid, really loving going to his first Lions game. And my dad was like, "Oh, the ticket's not that bad. We go to the Lions game and going to see them lose." And then every week he was like, "We're gonna go till they win because the ticket's only $12." And I saw them lose. Every home game that year. Every home. So forgive me for hating the team.
Paying for tickets in the 0-16 year is crazy. They was giving them out with Big Mac meals, bro. What was you on?
My pops was like, I was a kid. My pops was like,
that's fair. Your pop, yeah. that's fair.
So forgive me for hating the Lions for putting me through that, but it's still traumatizing to this day. So yes, I hate the Lions. The same old Lions is always gonna be. I don't care if they win Super Bowl day. I'm gonna go back to Detroit and say I hate the Lions.
Well,
now that being said, I am happy for the Lions. I am happy because that is a game that's 30 years overdue. You know, you got your get back for the Cowboys because you got to laugh at them too. Right after you got the dub. So, I mean, I'm happy for Detroit. You know, I'm going to root for the Lions just because I'm from Detroit. And I'm going to say congratulations, right? Now, was there doubt in a lot of Lions fans had, right? Yes, I think there was. Because Stafford came out slinging that thing.
Absolutely.
The Lions executed on who was the main person that everybody was waiting to start making an impact on the game.
From the Rams?
Yep, for the Rams.
Oh, everybody was waiting on Cooper Kupp to show up.
Everybody was waiting on Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp was on Jupiter. He was locked down so much. They put him in Alcatraz. He couldn't do nothing. He couldn't do nothing.
Hell. Yeah.
And the Lions secondary not even that good, to be honest with you. And they really made it tough for Cooper Kupp. And that was the difference in that game. Stafford didn't have his number one weapon. Now, they have some questions that they need to answer because they couldn't tackle nobody either. They were struggling to tackle Sister Jean too. But I'm happy for the Lions. I'm happy for Goff because I still don't fully believe in Goff being a Super Bowl quarterback, but I think he has enough talent around him where he can maintain a game for you now. But
Lions to the NFC chip, man. We going to
the
NFC chip.
You get to see Baker. You get to see Baker. I mean, if you lose that game, y'all gonna hear my mouth. I'm not gonna hold.
I don't give a piss about nothing but the pride. Nothing but the pride,
baby.
Yeah.
Nothing but the pride.
Save this clip, somebody, because if they lose to Baker and the boys, this gonna be on repeat in my head in the gym. I'll be ready for Facts Over Acts next week. I'm gonna be like, nothing but the pride.
Oh, absolutely.
Nothing but the pride.
Absolutely. Josh, tell us what you... Actually, you know what? I'm going to let you finish this segment off. Because I'm going to say this. Nobody on this show has ever seen the Lions host a playoff game. Nobody on this show has ever seen the Lions win a playoff game other than when we watched ESPN Classic, a channel that is now discontinued, and two of us are bald. You understand? That's how long it has been. They told me Matt Stafford's coming back. You know, you can't go against Stafford. You can't go against Aaron Donald. I'll tell you what, that offensive line, hold on now. Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker, Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow. Hold on now. Right guard as well. I can't remember his name right now. It's going to come back to me, but hold on now.
Decker?
No, Decker is the left tackle.
Oh, yeah, Decker on the left.
Whoever the right guard is, we're going to show you some love when the name pop up in our head. But hold on now. And not only that, remember what happened when Brad Holmes drafted Jahmyr Gibbs? Do y'all remember? Pepperidge Farm remembers. They said, you don't draft a running back at 12. You don't draft a running back at 12. You just don't do that. Let me tell you something. Football is two things if it ain't nothing else. It's
Glasgow.
Yeah. Gotcha. He just got back too because he was with the Broncos. He got drafted by the Lions. He came out of Michigan, got drafted by the Lions, went to the Broncos, and then came back. But I vividly remember everybody saying, "Oh, you don't draft a running back that high." And there were multiple plays where Goff was in trouble. All he had to do was say, "Hey, Jahmyr is to my left or right somewhere." And Jahmyr was gonna make something shake. Big Monty make something shake. Everybody said, "Oh, you can't get rid of Swift and Jamal Williams." Jamal led the league in rushing touchdowns. You can't get rid of both of them. Like I said about Eagles fans telling us that we were the bitter ex saying, "Oh, you ugly. I don't like you anyway." No, it really is when you look at somebody real close and you're like, "Oh, I thought you was fine," but like. Your eyes kind of look funny, and you got a tooth.
You a pack of mids.
Yeah, that's what happened. The closer we've all been there before. You try to holler at a shorty from a distance, then you get closer to her. You like, never mind. I was just playing, but very seriously, what a game, And shout out to the city for showing up in Ford Field the way they did, having a great time. And getting the first playoff win in over 3 decades. This ain't the same old Lions, ladies and gentlemen. Kill that same old Lions, baby. Kill that same old Lions nonsense, because these Lions acting totally different. We sat through 0-16. We sat through Joey Arrington. We sat through Charles Rogers. We sat through John Kitna. We sat through Dante Culpepper. We sat through Kyle Vanden Bosch. We sat through it all.
Dan Orlovsky.
Dan Orlovsky. Don't know where the end zone ends, Dan Orlovsky. We sat
Matt
through
Patricia
it.
too. You might as well say Matt Patricia.
Matt Patricia, Steve Mariucci, Marty Morningwig. Come on, we done sat through some things. Jim Schwartz. We done sat through some things.
Man, what was that year we drafted like 4 receivers in a row?
Oh, listen.
But Mike Williams?
Let me tell you something. We talk about stopping Aaron Donald. I was there when we drafted Eric Ebron over Aaron Donald. I remember playing against Eric Ebron in college. His ass played for our rivals, and I said, that boy is mid. He is a pack of mid. The Lions drafting him that high will be one of our biggest regrets for the next decade. And was I wrong? Was I wrong? And yet, we get the draft picks that we get this year. We get Laporte. We get Jahmyr Gibbs. We get a J-Mo. We get an Amon-Ra. Come on now. We get a Penei Sewell. We get the guys that we get. And folks want to tell me, don't get hyped about this. Like I said, this means something to me. Brand new Lions. 24-23. And I'll admit, I'm unbiased enough to admit we got away with multiple DPIs down the stretch. I'll admit that. We got away with a couple DPIs down the stretch. I ain't gonna lie to nobody and say, the Lions didn't get away with it. No, we absolutely did. But you know what? The fact that the Lions were there put you in position to even get away with that call, to even be on the receiving end of that bad call. Now, of course, you got to handle business against Baker, because Baker Mayfield, he thrives off doubt. He's like Samson when his hair grows. The more you doubt him, the better he gets. The more you doubt, the minute you start believing in him, you done gave Samson a buzz cut. What you do? So, congratulations, Baker Mayfield. We believe in you. We think you're going to have a great game in the divisional round to get to the NFC Championship. But with that being said, this ain't the same old Lions. And like Dan Campbell said, damn it, Jared Goff, you're good enough for Detroit. Go on and take us home, Josh. Go on and take us home.
It's not really much for me to say after that right there, man. One, proud of the Lions. I've been through a lot of tough times, man. I done been through us drafting. Who do we draft in the first round? Mike Williams? What was his name?
Yeah. Roy
we drafted 2 Williams. Roy Williams, and there was another Williams.
Oh, man.
We went through a lot of tough times, man. Shout out to the Lions. It was a tough game, but we played smart. We came out with the W with some things we got to improve on if we going to beat Tampa Bay. But at the same time, if we beat the Rams, who is probably the hottest team in the league going into the playoffs.
I would honestly say the Packers are, but
I think the Packers
close.
and Rams. I was about to say, I think the Packers and Rams
close,
are like 1A, 1B, however you want to flip it.
But I ain't completely. I'm okay with that, man. We going to the NFC Championship. I'm not gonna count my eggs before they hatch, but I'm feeling good about the pride.
Feeling great about the pride, but we got to switch over to the AFC. Because Chris, I'm gonna put you on the spot again. I'm gonna put you on the spot again, brother. I'm gonna put you on the spot again. You know I'm gonna put you on the spot again. Because we got to start off with Kenny Pickett. We got to start off with Kyle Rudolph. We got to start off with Friar Muth and Company over there in the Steel City where they couldn't steal a win in Buffalo on that ice cold field. Chris, what happened to your boys, man?
I mean, it's simple. We have everything we need on that team except for a quarterback. I mean, ever since Ben Roethlisberger was contemplating retirement, we have been without a quarterback. Kenny Pickett out for the season. I think he would have put up a better fight than Mason Rudolph. But, I mean, Mason Rudolph being your starting quarterback in the year of 2024 when he maybe caught let's say, 7 or 8 games Ben Roethlisberger's career, his career as a starting quarterback. Yeah. He was so bad that they started having open tryouts for the Steelers. That's how bad he was.
Yikes.
Open tryouts is crazy.
For a quarterback,
now you got the brothers who set up the tripods and go into Target, coming out the woodwork saying, "I can throw a ball. Get ready with me to go try out for the Steelers."
You know, and it breaks my heart because I think this might have been the end of Tomlin in Pittsburgh. I mean, anytime a brother, and we know what I mean by brothers. Yeah. Anytime a brother say, "Let me see what my family say about me staying," that brother is gone.
My wife to say no. It's like when you ask your man, "Hey, bro, you coming out tonight?" He like, "I got to see what my old lady say." All right, bro, just go ahead and stay home.
Yeah, bro. You know what I mean? When a brother say that, when a brother say that, you know it's the end of the road. It's the end of the road, but. So it breaks my heart. We gotta lose Mike Tomlin, who has had a winning season for 16 consecutive years. Yeah. I don't think that's gonna. I think that's a record, right? That's a record, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe. Yeah,
so. I don't think that's gonna be broken. I mean, the type of job he did in Pittsburgh is gonna be memorable, right? Now that being said, we still got some pieces over there. T.J. Watt. Relatively young, but he's injury prone, right? We got Minka, who's young. We got a couple pieces over there on the defensive side of the ball that I'm not worried about. The defense. Is good as well.
Right?
Yeah, we got a few defensive pieces on the side of the ball, on that side of the ball that I'm not worried about defense. But we are wasting Najee Harris, the next best thing next to Derrick Henry when he came out of Alabama. But we don't have an offensive coordinator that Taylor makes that game. The only way I think Tomlin ends up staying with the Pittsburgh Steelers is if they go get one man and one man only. The Chicago Bears has the number 1 pick. Look like they're going to take Caleb Williams with that pick. If they go get Justin Fields, that's the only way I think you without going into a full rebuild, you bring this team back to life. That's the only way. Because Pickett, Trubisky, Rudolph, all these guys, they got to go. I'm sorry. They have got to go.
That's fair. Josh, what'd you think after watching this one?
I just think we looked at a case of a team overachieving. We know when it comes to playoff time, the Bills aren't really dogs like that, but the Steelers is a team where, especially if they started having their quarterback issues, it was a team that even on this podcast, where all three of us said, like, that winning streak for Mike Tomlin might be cooked. The Steelers might have a down year. Go ahead and get you a good pick and retool because they have the pieces on offense and defense to be a team that competes. But at the same time, there's no team that competes at a high level with that bad of a situation at quarterback. Yeah. So the Steelers are honestly just one piece, which is quarterback, away from being right back there competing. I think they just overachieved, made the playoffs, and they got eliminated when they were supposed to.
That's fair. You know, I don't want to say it, but I got to say it. Do you know how bad you have to be for Josh Allen to not have a turnover against your team? Do you know how bad you have to be?
We also was down some key players, though. We also was down some key players on defense.
Against Miami, who was missing their top 2 edge rushers, one of their best defensive tackles, a multitude of players offensively, Josh Allen threw 2 interceptions. Against the New England team, completely devoid of talent, he threw an interception. Against the Chargers, who just, let's be honest. Wait, didn't they get, how many points did the Raiders put up on them? What was it? It was something crazy.
It was a lot.
63. They 63.
63. Yeah, against a team that put up 63. You know what Josh Allen went out there and did, Chris? Take a wild guess. He threw a pick. That boy, I'll tell you what, he is Jameis Winston with caucus skin and a little bit faster. I'm gonna say it like it is. Okay? That Steelers team is cooked. Tomlin, go on somewhere, man. And as of today, the news came out that Mike Tomlin said, I will be the Steelers head coach in 2024. I'm sorry. He should be their quarterback, too, at this point. But he said, I'll be the head coach in 2024. So, you know, I look at this situation, and I'm just like, eesh, that's some nasty work. But you got the best of Josh Allen this game, which means whoever they playing next week, congratulations, buddy. He's gonna throw it right to you at least 2-3
Chiefs.
times. Congratulations, Snead and company. At least 2-3 times. That ball's gonna be right there in your hands. Speaking of the Chiefs, in another cold weather game, beers exploding in the stands because obviously y'all know that you can't freeze beer, and if you didn't, congratulations. The Facts Over Axe crew just told you never put beer in the freezer. So, in a game that was another mini ice bowl there, the Chiefs took it to the Dolphins. Fellas, give me your thoughts.
I don't really think there's much to say here. That's a matter of two talented teams going against each other. One is clearly more experienced, but at the same time, when you a team that play in Miami and you got to go play in negative 20-degree weather, you're not winning that game.
Right. Fun fact, I believe the Dolphins are I want to say they're 0 or 1 in whatever they played in terms of games outdoors and below 40 degrees in the last few seasons. So,
I'm just
Miami weather.
Gibbs, I know you in North Carolina, which it can get cold, but at the same time, it's not nearly as cold as where we're from. Yeah. If you went home, your morale is going to dramatically drop if you went there right now.
I mean, the thing is, this is a team that their whole thing is predicated on speed and movement, and everybody's constantly moving, constantly grooving, and all that type of stuff.
Yep.
The Chiefs were just out physical those guys. I mean, yeah, I know y'all saw the press where Snead literally put Tyreek in the ground.
Tyreek acknowledged it.
That brother said, hey, I know you got kids. Tell them I'm their pops now. Just stay down here for a little bit. So, very, very nasty work there. But all in all, I think this was a game where we saw Tua's limitations. I don't think that Tua is ever going to be the guy to win you a Super Bowl unless everything around him is perfect, including the weather. And to me, that threshold is just too high. And granted, they had a ton of injuries as well. That's another reason I picked the Chiefs at Arrowhead because of all the injuries. But man, they absolutely struggled. Chris, give us your thoughts before we get to the final Super Wild Card game here.
I mean, I was rooting for the Dolphins just off the strength of I really wanted to see the Chiefs lose. Fun fact, we played a drink game at the ski trip. Every time they showed Taylor Swift or said Taylor Swift in any part of the game, we actually had to chug our entire drink. So
GG's.
Yeah, gives you on mute, but yeah. So
why are you trying to get in people alcohol poisoning, brother? What?
Listen. I was drinking Bud Light. Me and my buddy split a 48 pack of Bud Light for the weekend, right? I had to down 5 beers in the first half, just alone in the first half. So anyway. No, it's I was rooting for the Dolphins just because I wanted to see Tyreek get his revenge. I wanted to see a change of scenery because the Chiefs are always there, and also I was kind of rooting. I'm rooting for the upside of Tua. Like he has a lot of potential, but like you said, Giz, I don't think he's the guy to really be a quarterback of the future, right? He doesn't not really mobile enough. He's not really good at, evading a sack. He gets the ball out really quickly, but that's because he has 2 of the fastest receivers in the league right now. So, I mean, of course you get the ball out really quickly. I think their coaching is great. I think their offense is great. The defense is where you win games, though. And when the cold weather like that, you got to be able to get stops to get the offense more opportunities to keep warm, get loose. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they were clicking. They still can't catch cold in the middle of Alaska with no clothes on, like Gibbs would say. But they did enough to beat the Dolphins because that defense couldn't get it stopped.
Absolutely. And then the last game, the nasty man, the massage bowl, the Deshaun Watson Freak Fest game, we saw the Texans absolutely demolish the Browns. And much like Deshaun Watson, they wasn't asking permission. They just was going and taking what was theirs in that game. Fellas, what do you think of the absolute whooping the Texans put on the Browns?
I mean, the Browns got an old man at quarterback. The Browns overachieved, as we talked about on the show last week. But them Texans looking good. Well, you got a quarterback that young, that poised, that's playing that well. If you got the right pieces around him, if you treat him the right way, which is a huge ask of the Houston Texans, you got you a franchise quarterback for at least the next 10 years. I think CJ Stroud, I'm not going to say he's the future of the league, but when you talk about elite level quarterbacks, if he does that for one more season, he's in that conversation for elite quarterbacks easily for the next decade.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
You know, I hate to say this, but I feel like we've seen this story before in Texas, but I'm not going to wish bad luck. I think he got a better head on his shoulder than the last guy, but
that's not even.
You know.
I think CJ Stroud is astronomically better.
Not even close. Not even.
No, I know he's better. I'm just saying the behavior has to be better.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you, Dak off the field is very well behaved. He's just a cornball. He's just super corny. Just super.
That's the Ohio State stuff, man. That's that Ohio State stuff. Man.
He's a Weenie Hut Jr. type of guy. CJ Stroud, cool. He a cool dude. I'm not gonna lie. I rock with him. You know what I mean? Certain people are all upset, like, he needs to stop saying free his dad. His dad committed crime. Shut up, okay? Shut up. If somebody in your family committed crime, you're going to say free man, even though man need to be in there crime. You'll say it just like anybody else.
Man need to be in jail.
Yeah, you know, and you know he the type that as soon as he get out, all his boys going to tweet the demon home, and they not right. That boy really is a demon. He really is that, but that's your people. I'm going to tell you this. This is a story of quarterbackiness. This is a story of it. You know why I say that? Everybody talked about how great Joe Flacco had been playing since he came into the league, or since he came back into the league.
Yep.
Did y'all know that these two things were true? Actually, I'm gonna ask you some things, and I'm gonna ask you whether or not they're true or false. Joe Flacco had more turnovers since he got back into the starting lineup, or into the league rather, because he was chilling at home, than C.J. Stroud had all year. True or false?
We'll go true.
True. Absolutely. Joe Flacco had more turnovers in his few games starting, in his handful of games starting, than Stroud did all year. But let's go even further. Joe Flacco was the NFL leader in interceptions this season. True or false?
That's false. Josh Allen had to have been.
False. Gotta be.
Correct. It is false until you throw in the caveat since he became the starter. Ever since he's been the starter, he's led the league in interceptions. And it's not close. How do you throw more picks than Josh Allen? Josh Allen threw more picks than the Black Panthers party in the 1970s. You understand? That man can't wait to give it to the other team. He got more turnovers than a good bakery, and you gave it away more than him, but everybody was screaming, oh, Joe Flacco's so great. People were screaming Joe Flacco is great for the same reason certain Baltimore fans say things like, I like Lamar, but I just trust Joe Flacco more. There's just something about the guy that I trust more.
He just plays the game the right way.
Yeah, exact same deal. But now, before we get out of here, fellas, we got to go lightning round through this next week. Because as a matter of fact, we could start over. We could wipe the slate clean because I don't want to, I think my lead is just so insurmountable right now that if we were to carry it all the way through the playoff, it just wouldn't be fair to y'all boys. So let's start off with the Saturday slate of games. Texans, Ravens. Ravens are 7.5-point favorites. Fellas, who you got?
I'm going with Baltimore.
Chris, who you got?
I'm going with Texas.
Oh, okay. He messing with Texas. All right. I'll tell you this much. Not only do the Ravens win this game, the Ravens cover in this game. They played the Texans earlier this season, beat them 25-9. I don't think that this game will be much closer than that. Fellas, Packers, 49ers, the nightcap on Saturday. 49ers, 8.5-point favorites. Who you got?
I think it's going to be a really close game. I think it's going to come down to the wire. Jordan Love is going to have another repeat performance. But at the same time, I just think that the 49ers got too much talent to lose with home field advantage, so I'm going with San Francisco.
Okay. All right. Chris, who you got?
Niners. I was really debating it. I'm looking at some stuff on my phone right now about the Packers. I don't think that if Jai Alexander is not 100%, I don't think he got enough to stop that pass offense. And then Christian McCaffrey had a lot of rest. I think the Niners in that.
I got the Niners winning, but not covering. I think that's going to be a close game, but I do think the Niners win it. On Sunday, the early game, the city will be live. Chris, you said the tickets were $12 during the 0-17 year. I got my tickets for free. Guess how much the lowest tickets are in Ford Field this upcoming Sunday?
Oh, $250 easily. $250 easily.
I would
Josh.
say 400.
Josh is closer. $519.
Ooh,
$519 is the lowest ticket.
one pride.
Here's a fun fact about this thing. Detroit's one ticket is more actually, wait, let me make sure. Yeah, it's more expensive than all the other games, lowest ticket put together. The Texans, $121, the Chiefs, Bills, $172, and the Packers, 49ers, $221. The cheapest you'll get at Detroit, $519, which is more than all of those combined. So, just a thought there. But anywho, who y'all got in this game?
One pride, I am going with the Detroit Lions. We handled the Rams the way that we should have, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, top to bottom, isn't as talented as the Rams. And if we were able to win a duel against Matthew Stafford, we should be able to do the same against Baker Mayfield.
All right, Chris, what's going on? Get out your Silky Johnson bag. Get that hate out your heart. You win this week.
I'm going to go at the Lions. Ain't no way you got me betting on Baker twice. Ain't no way you got me betting on Baker twice.
Let me tell you something. This is another rematch from earlier in the season. The game earlier, the Lions won 20-6. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I expect a very similar result. The Lions not only win, but they cover the spread, which I believe is 7.5. No, 6.5. 6.5.
It's gonna go down though. It's gonna probably go down about 4.5 by the time the game come on.
Probably.
Yeah.
So final game. This is probably the most intriguing of the bunch. It's the rematch. We've seen this game over and over and over, but we see it at Arrowhead every year. This time we in Orchard Park with it. Bills, Chiefs. Who you got?
I'm going with the Chiefs. I don't really think this takes much discussion. I mean, you got two talented teams going against each other, but we've seen Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen duel multiple times, and the result has been the same. History has a weird way of repeating itself. Josh Allen is not about to outplay Patrick Mahomes in Arrowhead.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Oh, they're in Orchard Park, by the way. They're not in Arrowhead.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Okay. All right. Chris, who you got?
And I'm not gonna hold y'all. They could lead Taylor Swift at Arrowhead, but I'm gonna roll with the Chiefs. Ain't nothing like the Chiefs, man.
I got a
Go ahead,
feeling.
be that guy. Go ahead.
I got a feeling. I got a hunch. There's something in my heart that's telling me the Bills are gonna get this thing done. There's a hunch but here's the problem. All the film says the Chiefs' defense is good enough, and in cold weather, defense travels. That on top of the law of averages says that old Josh Allen, he gonna throw it right to one of those guys in the deep red jersey or in the white jersey in this game. And that's just what probability and statistics says. And so, while I got that feeling that says I need to be different and pick the Bills here, gotta rock with the Chiefs as well. Gotta rock with the Chiefs. So
And not a lot of parity this week.
So I was just about to say, all of us picked all four of the games the same way, seemed like?
No, Chris took the Texans over the Ravens.
Oh, okay.
I'm never gonna pick the Ravens in any circumstance in life, being a Steelers fan.
That's unfortunate, brother. That's unfortunate.
I'm fine with 3-1.
for
I'm
it.
fine with 3-1.
I know y'all tired of us talking about C.J. Stroud and freeing his pops and what's going on with the Taylor Swift situation and who is actually which Josh Allen gonna show up. But come on back the next week and the week after that and the week after that. Peace and love, y'all.